The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
Oh boy, I'm so glad The Walking Dead starts next week.
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited to talk about that, to talk about this, talk about whatever. Well, I mean, I'm not super excited to talk about this, but I'm excited enough. I mean,
you
it's
are
over.
Excited?
It's over. That's
my takeaway. This horrible season has come to a close. I'm Justin.
Oh, and I'm JP.
And, the deal. The intro told it all to you. But I didn't hate this episode until we got to the end.
Yeah, man, I feel like Jenny's just being a dick, just to be a dick.
Just
and I don't
because,
like that.
I'm supposed to be the villain, so let me be the villain.
Yeah, I don't really get her motivation for just being a jerk. I don't get it, but.
And a jerk she is. Let me tell you, that whole cliffhanger with Morgan, I think that he's going to survive his predicament. I really do. But I also feel like that's almost another Glenn Dumpster situation because those walkers, number one, were like right up on him.
Right.
I mean, they pretty much had their teeth in him. And then, I mean, I don't know that he got shot in the heart, but he got shot close enough. And I mean, he's bleeding out. I mean, it's like almost sometimes in film and cinema, if you don't get hit in the heart, it doesn't matter how much blood you lose. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like he will survive, which I want him to survive because as much as we've complained about Morgan through this season, I don't want Morgan to die. I just want him to go back to The Walking Dead and where he meshes. I feel like he's a much better character. So if they kill him, just kudos on the wonderful writing.
Yeah, dude.
Sarcasm, by the way.
I feel like they'll bring somebody in from the past, from the past season of the show. I don't know who it would be. I mean, Madison would be an obvious choice to save him.
You think Rick will? Morgan?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, you think they'd go like the helicopter route, just do it all over again?
That could be it. I mean, what if Morgan 2 gets kidnapped by the helicopter?
Yeah, dude. At this point, man, it wouldn't surprise me.
Like Morgan as well. Like he gets in, which they should be quite a bit behind The Walking Dead's current. Which then again, I don't know. You know what? No. They could be in line with when Rick got kidnapped, right? I'm sorry for those dedicated listeners who know everything about this show because I'm trying to picture the timeline here. So we know that they're behind the present in The Walking Dead because The Walking Dead skipped forward 6 years and then some. But they probably aren't too far off from where Rick gets carried off and all that, right? So, I mean, in The Walking Dead, Rick and them had went a year and a half past the end of the Negan saga. Mm-hmm. Morgan had to have taken him a while to get to Texas. And so, I mean, they could be in line. So who knows? Maybe they'll stop and pick him up, and he'll be, Rick, Morgan, and Jadis will all be chilling on the chopper.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, I wouldn't put it past him at this point. I mean, as you said earlier, man, it could be a whole nother Glenn Dumpster, fiasco.
To those listeners that have found this season to be entertaining or just have kept up with it better than we have, where are we in the timeline with Fear the Walking Dead compared to The Walking Dead? I would like to know if we are, at the point close to like where Rick was taken, or if we're a little bit before that, or maybe even after that. And I feel like some people are like, "How are you going to do a podcast? You don't know that." I don't know. I don't know that we'll even be back for next season of Fear the Walking Dead. We just started this season because seasons 3 and first half of season 4 were so good. We jumped back on podcasting, but the second half of last season and then this whole season's got me to where I don't even know for sure if we'll be podcasting about it next season.
Nah, we will.
I'll at least do the first few episodes, man. But I feel like we're doing a disservice to people who do like this show by constantly just coming on and crapping on it. You know what I mean?
I guess if AMC's not even going to do a Talking Dead after every episode,
they do.
Dude, I thought they only did it like for the premiere and the finale and the premiere.
Did they? You might be right. I don't know, but I thought I had seen several times when Preacher came back. Chris Hardwick coming in and saying like, "Hey, Fear the Walking Dead comes on after Preacher."
Oh, really? Huh.
But you might be right. I haven't cared to watch number one, I'm not staying up that late. I have to get up early, and I'm not staying up until 11 o'clock to watch The Talking Dead. I know they're trying to push their other shows, but that's a stupid move on my part, pushing that far back. I mean, your views have got to. I'm sure the ratings aren't that as great for The Talking Dead when they do that.
Yeah.
I can do 10 to 11. I can't do 11 to 12.
I hear there's a pretty big lineup for The Talking Dead next week. That's what I hear.
Oh, for the Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Man, The Walking Dead looks amazing. I love the previews. It looks like I really dig the horror feel. Like we're getting this feels like a show that's at least got some horror inspirations. You know?
Yeah, dude. I think it's going to be out of this world. You know,
I'm hoping.
Kind of makes me sad. Jeffrey Dean Morgan only sees like 3 more seasons in its future, but you know,
that kind of makes you like. You wondered he was just saying that to say that, or if he's being honest, or if maybe he just isn't digging what they're doing and thinking, yeah, it's probably going to tank in about 3 more years.
Yeah, I mean, well, like most actors, he probably doesn't want to be attached to one project for too awful long. You know,
that's what I hate about shows like this, though. When you take a role, it's kind of like you said back when you were shaming Rick for leaving the show.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
Lincoln,
you know, when you sign on to this project, you should do some research. How long is this character? Are you willing to be in it for the long haul? If not, perhaps let some other actor who is. You know, I would hate for them to like have to kill Negan off or send him. It's almost just like now when people want to leave, it's like send them to the Rick movies.
You're right.
Because we know Michonne is leaving this season.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure she confirmed that at a Comic-Con. In fact, she did confirm that. But it's her last season on The Walking Dead. She, you know, for all we know, I guess is going like to the Rick movies. But maybe Negan will get tired of it. They're like, to the Rick movies with you, Negan. Like basically, it's just like if you're tired of the rigors of shows and would just rather do a few movies,
right?
But I mean, Negan, and that makes me sad if he is, you know, at least if nothing else, seeing himself off the show in the next few years. I'm like, man, I thought Negan was going to be our new front man, kind of like a Negan-Daryl split. Which it seems like we're sharing the lead status now. And they did a good job last season. Obviously, Daryl feels more like the lead, but it was split pretty well between Carol, Ezekiel, and lots of other characters. So it didn't really feel like there was, with Rick gone and the way it was last season was wrote, it definitely felt, well, the second half of last season, you know, it definitely felt like there was not one particular lead. It felt like there were multiple really good leads. Michonne.
Yeah, kind of like a Game of Thrones in its prime feel. It was very well balanced. Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm really excited, but we're not here to talk about that, unfortunately, even though just the thought of next season of The Walking Dead is more entertaining than this season. But I don't know, man. If they kill Morgan, just like, man,
I don't think
these writers just.
No, I don't think he is.
It's like they're sitting back in the writing room going, all right, let's see how long. Like, they don't want to be on the project anymore. And they're like, let's just write it. It's terrible. They've got to cancel us after this season.
Right.
Well, we've seen where they've said big changes are coming for next season, which is kind of the go-to thing to say when you have a show and a season gets really bad reviews. But we'll see.
Yeah. But I don't think Morgan's dead, though. I don't think he is. I think they're going to bring back a fan favorite character. Who it is, I don't know, but someone's gonna save him. And he's going to come out of the woodwork, you know, and bring everybody together to fight the pioneers.
We got to help them.
Yeah,
they're going to join up, and it's going to be like, I mean, like they straight up in this episode even talked about, you know, attacking or whatever, and you kind of got Victor Strand's betrayal again in a way.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm getting really tired of that though. Like, and don't get me wrong. Keep in mind, JP and I both have been very distracted during this season in the sense of we've watched it, but it's bored us to the point where we haven't paid the best of attention. But I know Victor, and he tells Alicia as they're getting loaded up, like, we can take them better from the inside. I am tired of the Victor Strand, maybe, but I know he's not. He's supposed to be a good guy, and that's just whatever. But just I don't know.
Well, no, I mean I get his strategy there. You know, like get in close and then slit their throats.
Yeah,
which would be awesome to see Victor Strand back to doing what Victor Strand does best. Seduce and destroy.
Yeah, but I don't feel like they're going to do that.
I don't know.
The writers have done nothing that would make sense this entire season. Or even really the last half of the last season.
Well, yeah, I can't argue with that. But
I mean, it's like, yeah, big changes are coming. You yourself, in your own words, have said that you are so tired of the let's split them up and let them find their way back together. And damn if that's not, they didn't take that and go tenfold for next season. I mean, not only is it just like 2 or 3 groups that are separated, got to get back together. We literally have every person going almost a different direction. So, yay. What irritated you the most has been like multiplied for next season.
Yeah, dude, Daniel doesn't even have his cat,
Right.
As someone with like 7 cats, that really hurts me.
You have 7. I mean, I know you have a lot under your house.
Yeah, I got that litter under the house.
How many do you have in your
what
house?
I'm going to do with there's 4 kittens under my house. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet, but
how many cats are in your house?
There's 3 in the house.
Jeez almighty.
Yeah.
That's 1 too many for me. That's 2 too many. That's 3 too many. I'm not a cat person.
Nah, they do good.
I get it. I say that, and we have 2 cats that live with us.
Right.
But they're my girlfriends. If she was to move out, we broke up. I don't know. I might do 1 cat. And I've met some cats that are really cool. I
just like the low maintenance aspect.
They are.
They're just very self-sustaining creatures.
I don't like your cat though. I don't like Nebo.
No, he's a good guy.
No, he's not. He's very antisocial. He sits under objects and makes weird noises when I come in.
Well, it takes him a little while to warm up. Yeah,
I don't like Nebo. But I don't know, listeners. Let us know your thought in the comments section. I mean, I didn't really like this episode. I like that we got to see Morgan do some stick action. That was pretty good. And old White was like, "I am who I am because of you people."
Right.
And it's something else,
some really cliche
and
moments,
it really is, man. You had that moment with June and Dwight on the horses, and Dwight's just riding along, and just like, if I'm gonna find Sherry, something better person, something believe. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's to the point where you're just like, oh my God, dude, just.
No, I feel you, man.
Shake it up some. And I know some people be like, that's what they did with the Morgan thing. They didn't. That just again, the number one cliffhangers for these finales, man. I don't know. After the whole Negan cliffhanger, I feel like The Walking Dead as a franchise should stay away from cliffhanger finales for a while. Yeah. At least, I mean, some cliffhanging is all right, but I mean, like, live or die cliffhangers, kind of, especially with big characters.
Morgan's gonna make it though.
I think he is. I like to think they're not. I mean, again, if you want to get Morgan off the show, then just have him go back to The Walking Dead and let Angela. Imagine Angela Kane getting control of Morgan and giving him his. It would be so much better.
Yeah.
But who knows? I don't know. I don't think JP knows. I really don't like the Red Dead Redemption crew. I think they're horrible. The Pioneers, I think they're just terrible characters. I think that Jenny is a terrible character. The actress doesn't do a bad job playing her. But like you said, it's just kind of like,
just being a bitch to be a bitch,
right.
and it doesn't make any sense. I mean,
I think honestly, not to cut you off, but I feel like the reason why she shot Morgan is she just sees him as a threat. I think she sees that he wants to do more the pure version of what she wants to do. She wants a new world order, but she wants to kind of take it by force. Like, you follow us, you have our vision, you survive. If not, we don't mind taking you out if you're not, on par with us in terms of what you want to do. But I think she sees Morgan as a threat because she sees that, what he wants to do is pretty much what she wants to do, but his is the better way, in the sense of it's the more humanitarian way, and people might figure that out and want to put him in her spot. So she decided she'd just kill him.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, she pretty much went the opposite route of Negan, just kill the leader right out the gate,
Right.
So
yeah, I don't know, man. I thought it was very predictable too. Like, once they were there alone, I was like, oh, she's gonna try and kill Morgan.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it'd been great if she'd tried to hop on his karate stick, if you know what I'm saying.
Have sex with him?
Right.
Right.
But I wouldn't blame him for not wanting to. Jenny's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But we find out that now my question, and you probably don't have the answer to this, and if you don't, it's okay, because clearly I don't. Morgan's girlfriend. They confess their love for each other as they're being pulled apart, and then they find out that she's pregnant.
She's pregnant, right.
Like 3 months pregnant. So that means she was pregnant before she got with Morgan, right?
Yeah, so one of her friends at the nuclear power plant or whatever she hooked up with.
Right. So Morgan is not the father.
No, he's definitely not the father.
but I guess he will be the father figure.
Yeah.
Which is, it's interesting because he mentioned his wife. And maybe now with a baby, you're going to have like a wife and child replacement, and he'll finally get a family back. You know, I don't know. I don't know what they're going for. I mean, I feel like I do, but I just don't really care. Let's just get him back to The Walking Dead.
And Alicia and Strand as well.
Or, you know, they're probably just going to take him and put him on the Rick movies. Like they've moved him from The Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead, now from Fear the Walking Dead to the Rick movies. Do you think you could see him going to the Rick movies?
He's just the slut of the Walking Dead world. He gets used by every show. Yeah. Pretty soon they'll have like a Morgan one-shot comic.
Ooh, I'll buy that.
Yeah, I'd buy it too.
But I doubt I would like it. But well, it depends on who it was written by.
Right.
If it was written by someone other than Fear the Walking Dead's writers, then perhaps. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like this podcast is going to bore the hell out of you, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up early unless you've got more to add, because I really don't. I mean, another subpar episode for what has ultimately been a pretty terrible season, in my opinion. Now, we do have a few listeners who have enjoyed this season and said that we don't see the bigger picture, and by all means, have at it. If you love it, that is great. I wish, and I mean, this podcast is by two people who love the Walking Dead franchise. I mean, that's we started off with a whole nother podcast years ago and found ourselves talking about the Walking Dead so much that we were like, hey, let's make it a podcast.
Right.
So we do love the franchise, but this season has just bored me to the point that it was more of a chore to watch than like Walking Dead. JP and I are so excited about The Walking Dead that we're already making plans, and JP might have to make like TV package adjustments to get it. But you know, I'm going to be at the beach on vacation, but I'm going to connect with JP via Google Hangouts, and we're going to still have a podcast. I'm going to edit and post the podcast to YouTube from the beach while JP handles like SoundCloud and other stuff. Like, we're so excited for The Walking Dead that I feel like if I would have went to the beach for like the Fear the Walking Dead finale, would have just been like, we'll skip that podcast.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, maybe JP can jump on and just be like, all right, it came, it went, not impressed. See you next season. But for those of you that do enjoy it, by all means, that is awesome. I wish, as much as I love this franchise, that I could like it as much as you do.
I just want to see Daniel get his cat back.
I just want to see Daniel be badass again.
Well, that too.
Give him a chance. Like when the dude was taking his cat away, and Daniel's, like we travel together.
Yeah.
And the guy, and I'm thinking like Daniel could snap this dude's neck and probably kill all of them. Right. And instead, he's just like, and kind of storms off to his truck. I'm like, and at the point, like, that's how petty these people are. Like, I get separating them, for whatever. I mean, I understand the tactic of separating them, especially when together they're all a big threat. So you separate them so they can't be a collective threat to you anymore and use them in different ways. But the cat,
right?
The cat and Dan, that's how they want these bad guys to be so despised that they even separate it. I mean, like, if you want us to hate them that bad, have them have killed the cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
them. Daniel's like, we travel together. Somebody could be like, what is this? He goes with me. They could have been like, not anymore. You don't. Pow. I mean, if you're going to go to that level, I mean, at the point of separating the cat and Daniel, they don't seem evil. They just seem petty.
Yeah.
Well, we're taking your cat away. Pussycat's going with Henry here.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's a silly show, that's for sure.
Again, it's just like until Morgan got shot, this season has basically been like the ABC family take on The Walking Dead. Just expect Judith to pop up and be like, I'm Judith, and you're watching the Disney Channel.
Right.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's a callback to a comment I made when more grown-up Judith first appeared. I like the character, but she just reminds me of a Disney character with the way she delivers some of her lines.
Right. But
I'm Judith, and this is the Disney Channel. Except for instead of drawing the Disney thing like they used to with like a stick, she's using like Michonne's sword or Rick's revolver.
Right.
Shoots the cameraman by accident. Oh, sorry. But yeah, I don't know. Let us know why we're stupid and why this season was amazing and what part of the big picture we didn't see, because I want you to clarify it. I mean, I want to have some new perspective thrown at me that makes me go back and rewatch. And I'm going to go back and rewatch this season. I'm going to, once it's on Hulu or Demand or whatever, I'm going to sit down and which I think it probably is on Demand right now. I have Comcast. Excuse me. But I'm going to go back through and rewatch the entire season, as tedious as that may be. And maybe it won't be as bad when you can watch it back to back. But when you go weeks between these very slow episodes, it just makes them seem all that slower.
All I can say is I have high hopes for next season, and let's just, hope for the best. I don't know, man. I'm getting stoked for The Walking Dead.
Here in the last few podcasts, this podcast wouldn't be complete if we didn't at least spend a little time at the Barn of Pleasures.
Oh,
we're heading into The Walking Dead, man. King Ezekiel's going to be there, and he doesn't have Carol anymore. So, he's probably in the Barn of Pleasures just...
That's probably the reason he created it.
Lining him up.
Carol left him so heartbroken. Yeah. He just became a degenerate.
He heard Daryl telling the story of Herschel's barn, and that's the origin of the Barn of Pleasures, because, we don't know Ezekiel to have a barn. Little did you guys know, we mapped this out. King Ezekiel was having a spirited conversation with Daryl one day as they were sitting under a tree. As you know, King Ezekiel hates Daryl now because of his relationship with Carol. He feels a little threatened by Daryl, so he's just like, Daryl, my boy, I told you to leave and never come back. And somehow they got into a conversation about Herschel's farm, and Daryl's like, there was this barn full of walkers, and this guy, Shane, he won't play in that shit, and he got them out, and we killed all of them. And Ezekiel was probably like, I, too, would love to have my own barn.
Yeah.
But with my Carol gone. And that, like, when Daryl, that's probably what inspires us. Daryl goes, and here's the worst part you might not have known about Carol. Her little girl was in there the whole time. Carol, what a fine piece of ass. I'm not getting any more barn. And then it all just clicks in his head, and he's like, I need my own Barn of Pleasures. It's kind of like a F you to Carol, because that's where her daughter was.
Yeah.
But it's also getting him off, so there's the origin of the Barn of Pleasures.
I could see that, man. It's playing out in my mind right now.
And he actually lets Daryl in there, because in his mind, that's just another slighted Carol.
Yeah.
I'm doing your man in the butt, Carol.
Nothing spurns your ex more than just having orgies.
You'll never leave the next woman to leave me.
Scorns.
No, yes.
Scorns. Did I say spurns? Is that a word?
It could be. I guess it is now.
Yeah.
You said it, right?
You have spurs, so I guess if you hit someone with your spurs.
And the Barn of Pleasures is pretty kinky, so I'm sure there are some. Daryl, yeah. And then Victor Strand gets in there, and it just gets even kinkier.
Put a saddle on him, yeah. Ride that pony right into the sunset, baby.
I see King Ezekiel. I see him using the spurs and the saddle on Jerry. Yeah, Jerry, take me to the gate.
That would make the most sense, wouldn't it? But God, then I'd get so sad thinking about Shiva, even though he never rode the tiger.
Mm. Shiva was too pure for the Barn of Pleasures.
Well, yeah.
He would just have her guard the front. I mean, could you see that, though, Ezekiel? That'd be like his sex cat. You walk into the Barn of Pleasures, and it's like he's sitting there with, like, just a loincloth, and he's stroking Shiva, and it's like, welcome to the Barn of Pleasures.
I'd like to see him just paint Jerry as a tiger and just pet him and just, purr.
You
Jerry.
are Shiva now,
yeah,
Jerry.
That'd be pretty awesome.
You no longer answer to Jerry. No, my friend. You answer to Shiva only. Now let me hear you roar. Just hear
Turn
Jerry.
him into like the battle cat from He-Man.
Let me hear you do your best impression of
I can't do
let
Jerry,
me hear
man.
you. Let me hear you try to do Jerry's roar.
Look, Your Majesty, No, Jerry, do it! Dude, come on.
Let me hear you roar, Jerry, or I'll use these spurs again.
Roar.
Yeah! King Ezekiel at this point sticks his spurs into Jerry's side. Let me hear you roar, my beast, my fantastic beast. Roar for me.
Oh, come on. Roar.
Jerry,
Come
I'm going to
on,
stick
man.
this spur up your ass if you don't roar from me. And then he proceeds to put his spur up Jerry's butt. So,
You're mad. I know I've always been into role-playing, dude, but come on.
yeah!
Oh.
Yeah!
Oh.
You're the worst Jerry as a tiger.
All I can...
That's from me to you, and now King Ezekiel says, Jerry, you are the worst Shiva I could have imagined. Even when Carol and I went over this scenario in the bedroom, she provided more of a roar than you. Go wash that paint off.
I don't know who would be the best guy. Now we're getting to like, what do they call them, like plushy stuff? Or
Furries?
Furries, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
I don't know, man.
That's one kink I've known. I feel like you just get too sweaty in that costume.
What if and not in a sexual way, I'm not even going to get into bestiality here, but all jokes, we're leaving the Barn of Pleasures right now. Do you think that King Ezekiel ever sees Daryl and Dog and gets jealous? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because he had a faithful companion. It wasn't a dog, obviously. It was a tiger, which, as much as I do love dogs, having a pet tiger that's obedient is even cooler.
Yeah.
But, he sees that Daryl, I mean, maybe that's part of it. Daryl and Carol will always, have their, again, I don't see it now as a relationship. I think it's more of like a friendship. But they'll always have their friendship and they'll be, privy to one another. But then he also has a fantastic beast that obeys his commands probably better than Shiva did.
I would imagine.
Maybe I imagine he's got to get a little jealous seeing him with Dog.
Daryl's got everything that Ezekiel can ever have.
Yeah. So, and now, as we go back to the Barn of Pleasures, he's probably just, I don't know, who would make the best Shiva replacement? Who would King Ezekiel? Let us know in the comments. In the Barn of Pleasures, King Ezekiel needs a new Shiva. For some role playing, who's he going to pick? I still think Jerry would be the best choice, just not with JP playing Jerry.
No, but that is a good
roar,
question,
dude, roar!
Yeah,
this is so cool, dude, roar! It'd be the most enthusiastic tiger ever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great! Oh, Your Majesty, stick me again, roar! Oh. I just kind of see him being kind of like the lion from The Wizard of Oz, like, woo, kind of flamboyant.
Yeah.
Oh, but if not Jerry, who do you think would make the best Shiva replacement?
That's good questions all around. He'd definitely be jealous of Daniel, too, well, assuming Daniel gets his cat back.
That reminds me of Shiva on a much smaller scale. Why does everyone have faithful animals? All I have is Jerry.
Yeah.
God damn it, Jerry. Roar for me, you bitch. But, I can see Daryl walks in with Dog, and then Daniel walks in, followed by the cat, and they're all just chilling. He's like, you think you're so fancy with your obedient beast. Say hello to Shiva, too. And Jerry's like, what's up, dudes? King Ezekiel kicks him. He's like, ow, roar, dudes. We have fun.
Yeah, sometimes.
But, that's going to wrap it up for this week's podcast. Again, this season, this finale, so underwhelming that we have once again reverted to sexual role-playing in the walking. Like, we've been so bored with this show that we can't even have role-playing in this show. We have to jump over to The Walking Dead in order to do the role-playing. Just role-playing in the Fear the Walking Dead is just as boring as watching the show.
Oh, man, hopefully next week it'll be, more to actually talk about in the show. Hopefully you're not blasted on coconut rum. You're going to be at the beach.
Coconut rum. Try whiskey, my brother. I mean, I do like rum, and I do like coconut with rum. But So, maybe.
Who knows, man?
I do carry like a little mini bar up there, so we'll see what usually my first drink when I get to the beach, the very first thing I do is I unpack everything, get that done with, and then I get me some Jack and Honey.
Ooh.
And I usually like to drink that straight, but being at the beach, I like to kind of put a little, because it's just a sweet whiskey.
Right.
So sometimes I do put a splash, and I do mean a splash. You can't mix too much or it becomes too sweet. A splash of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
It actually mixes better with
Dr. Pepper.
It mixes better with Jack and Honey than Coca-Cola does. Huh. Most of the time, Coca-Cola is a good, bourbon or rum mixer. But in this one instance with Jack and Honey, and the only other one I found Dr. Pepper mixes really good with is Crown Apple, because Dr. Pepper has that caramel kind of taste, so you end up tasting like a caramel apple.
Yeah. Huh.
But aside from that, Coca-Cola is the best mixer. But I do Jack and Honey and a splash of Dr. Pepper, and I put it in my little. I don't know if it's a Yeti or not. I have a lot of the cheap ones from like Walmart, the Ozark Trails. I put it into whatever my stainless steel cup is, and jump on the golf cart and just ride oceanfront and sip some bourbon. Oh, what a time to be alive. If you follow me on Periscope, I will probably be periscoping quite a bit. I haven't done that much, but I will be periscoping and Snapchatting a lot from the beach. So I'll be near one of our loyal listeners, Jeep.
That's right.
She's in South Carolina, but feel free to follow me on Snapchat and or Periscope, which is just I'm Justin Lloyd, all lowercase, no spaces, 2 L's in Lloyd. I'm Justin Lloyd, Snapchat and Periscope, and I'll definitely be making some posts from the beach. But back before we close out, I had a thought about the Barn of Pleasures.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Please
like talking about how boring Fear the Walking Dead is. It's just like at the Walking Dead side of the world, the Barn of Pleasures is jumping. There's music. Everybody's dancing and humping, and Ezekiel never being satisfied because for some reason in our fantasy role playing here, he's just a sexual deviant. Like he's bored now. Group sex doesn't amuse him, and he's just sitting at the top of the barn, just kind of observing everything going on. And he sees Morgan walk by, and he's like, "Morgan, step into the barn of pleasures." And Morgan's like, "Help people, gotta help people." "Well, Morgan, you can help quite a few people in the barn of pleasures. Come on in." And Morgan's like, "Gotta go help people in the barn." And he's just like, to make sure we're clear, Morgan, by help people, I mean have sex with them. No, need to save people. Jerry, Sheba, do not let Morgan into the barn of pleasures. Morgan, I take back your invite. It's like it's so boring that Strand and Daniel are like the only two characters that are allowed into the barn of. Dwight shows up. "Hey, I used to be with this crew." "No, Dwight, I'm sorry. The barn of pleasures is a place of beauty and love, and
oh man,
you bore everyone, and not to mention the side of your face is not that appealing.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a soft off, which is the opposite of a hard on, Dwight."
Ugh.
But I just imagine like even King Ezekiel with the majority of fear characters roll up, and he's like, "The barn of pleasures is closed."
I mean, can't Dwight understand that Sherry is just grossed out by his weird melted face?
I mean, really, at this point, she's leaving him notes and stuff. It's more like, it's almost like he's chasing her, like literally, in the sense of instead of trying to find her. It sounds more like she does not want to be found, and Dwight just won't stop following her.
Yeah, dude, I'm waiting.
She's such a tease, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm just waiting for the moment where someone matches up his handwriting and figures out that he's been writing these notes. And
Sherry is Dwight.
Yeah.
Dwight is Sherry. And then, somebody's behind a building burning their clothes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm referencing the first Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Oh.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Yeah.
Einhorn is Finkel. Oh, my God. I just imagine somebody's behind the building. Like Negan. No, Negan. Negan will be the one to figure it out. He's like, "Dwight is Sherry. Sherry is Dwight." Oh my God. Negan's just back, like burning his jacket and burning Lucille. And he's like, "Ooh." But I hope Lucille is saved because she has a place in the barn of pleasures.
Well, one would hope.
Negan just rolls up and is like, "Look what I brought." He's got Lucille, Morgan, King Ezekiel's just like, "Yes."
Just, replace the barbed wire with anal beads, and yeah.
Walks by Jerry. Jerry's like, "Roar."
Yeah.
Roar, dude.
God, we need to get enough action figures to like make a diorama.
We need to get other people in here and assign characters to just have this entire like thing acted out.
Yeah.
I'll be Negan and all the really country characters. You can be King Ezekiel, and I want to be Strand. I like voicing Strand. I like letting you do Ezekiel though. But yeah, that would be so fun to just have like 12 people. Imagine trying to convince 12 people to come into the studio for homoerotic Walking Dead fan fiction / hardcore pornography.
Well.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Again, Fear the Walking Dead. Look at what you did to us. You took two guys who wanted to talk and brag about your show, and instead we've turned into a life of sadomasochism and Walking Dead role-playing.
Well, it was bound to happen.
This is what you did to us. Get your writing straight, and hopefully it'll be better next season. We'll catch everyone later on this week. Toward Wednesday, we don't podcast on Tuesdays anymore. We now have Weird Wednesdays, which is where we've kind of combined the paranormal. If you are a regular listener, if you're not a regular listener, well, you should subscribe, as the man with a nice deep voice at the beginning told you to, because we podcast about lots of different things. Weird Wednesdays, our next podcast. We'll be podcasting about something paranormal or conspiracy. Which will it be? We will never tell. Well, we'll tell on Wednesday, but we will never tell before. But, we hope you'll join us for that, and we'll see you then. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead.
Yeah.
Some days.